Oh, I forgot the feeling though. All this talk to get the family to
Oh,
take
you're
out the
feeling
pizza, and then you
forgetful.
forget. I'm feeling forgetful. ah! What? I am host. I'm feeling fed up. I know that's not a feeling, but that is what I am feeling.
I feel like this is a feeling. Why is it not? Why shouldn't it be a feeling?
I don't know. It's more of a state.
Yeah, but it's a
Yeah.
very specific emotional state, I'd say.
I've been reading nonviolent communication, trying to like learn to be more like empathetic and in tune with people's emotions and stuff when I talk to them.
Oh,
It's
okay.
going, it's kind of going nuts. I'm not very good at it, but at least I'm aware.
We're probably going to get into this, but I got a book for my birthday called "Surrounded by Idiots."
I've heard about this book.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. That
I
might
think
be
that's kind of the
might be a good
opposite
lead.
take, though. Not the
I
empathetic take.
I think it's very much the empathetic take. It's just a very good title.
Yeah. Okay.
Because
Yeah.
in the end, I think it's about like recognizing different personalities and what they like and
Mhm.
dislike and how they behave, and just like being
Mhm.
able to categorize and then understand they are doing
Mhm.
this because they are green type
Mm.
or whatever. I
Okay.
honestly, I've just started reading it, so I have no idea
This
what
will
I'm
be
talking
interesting
about. But
because that title just like put me off the book. Like I've read lots of similar books, but with that title, I was like, I'm not reading this.
it's
um,
definitely a title that it's a bold title. Yeah.
yeah. I just
I'll,
started
I'll
reading
report back.
Anti-Fragile again, which hits a
Oh,
different way now than it did when I read it the last time.
because you're less fragile.
Um, I think more that like I can like see the usefulness of building or making yourself anti-fragile or your life anti-fragile
Right.
because
Yeah.
things are, you know, happening. Also, I guess the way that we've put up our careers in a way now is more
Mhm.
anti-fragile, but I've only started reading it again. So, but there's like a
Mhm.
difference between robust and anti-fragile. I've always been robust, I think, but as a person, pretty robust. But like that, the notion of anti-fragility where you can like thrive on the freaking curveballs. Yeah. Let's
I
do
heard good
our intro
I
before
heard
we
good
do the
things
whole
about the
episode
book, but
before.
haven't read it. Yeah. Maybe Krista, maybe you need to do some editing magic to fit this in. I don't know. Maybe we
Could
do.
add it to the
And
end or get into it at the end. Who
or
knows?
just keep it as an unconventional intro, I guess.
Hit it.
Welcome to Slow and Steady, the podcast where you get to follow along as we build products in public. Each episode gives you an honest peek into our lives as we share our struggles, our wins, and everything in between. I'm Benedict and I'm feeling a little bit stressed today.
And I'm Benedicta. Today is December 9th. This is episode number 233, and I'm feeling pretty fed up.
Ooh, that's not a nice emotional state.
Emotional state because it's not a feeling. I don't know if it's a feeling. But then when I read that, I'm also feeling my morning routine by doing my morning walk, which is now such a habit. On Sunday, I got agitated, or was it Saturday? Doesn't matter. I got agitated because I didn't get out of the house early enough to like get my solid hour
Mhm.
alone walking, and I was like, so I had to tell the family like, okay, on the weekends I have to do this before we watch the Advent show, not after, because like everything got pushed because it's the weekend. So on the Sunday I went out early, and it's keeping me sane, but I'm still fed up from like life. We are on our
Mhm.
third major like extended family curveball or upheaval or tragedy. I
Mm.
can only, speak to my mom. The other people will have to like, it's not for me to share. But mom got worse, so they were like, oh, end of life protocol and that kind of stuff, and then
Oof.
she just
Yeah.
stabilized on verse, but she's happier. So like people are visiting and they're like, she's so happy, and it's like, yeah, but she's not eating. She's not drinking that much. Well, she's drinking Coca-Cola and eating Oreo cookies, which kind of is what she sustained herself at when she was still at home. But it's not, and so nobody knows. Because like when you have dementia at the stage that she has, she can't really convey why she's hurting and why she doesn't want to
Mhm.
eat and drink. So, and she doesn't want to go get not go get treatment. She doesn't want to get examined. So,
Mhm.
and I agree with the people at the home, like we shouldn't force her. There's really no point in like forcing strange and scary situations upon her that she
Mhm.
doesn't understand. But it makes, everybody is like, we don't, nobody knows what is happening. And it could just be the dementia as well. Because like your brain is deteriorating. You can start feeling pain that doesn't exist, or you can just start, you know, your brain is just constantly being messed up. So anyway,
Right.
but I was like kind of ready for this, or like expecting it to happen, but I also, after the other events of the fall, I was like hoping we could get a little bit of a breather. But you know
Yeah.
at the other side of all of this, like maybe a solid 10 years would be that's all I asked for. Without any major traumatic events, that would be awesome. But I don't think that's gonna
Yeah.
happen though. But maybe a year would be good. But anyway, so I'm like fed up, but also like doing really good with my framer stuff, doing my walks. We're going on an Advent trip to Germany this weekend. So, life just like a bundle of stuff. A bundle
Yeah.
of stuff. Yeah. And then Lewis from Geeky Medic told me in the Mega Maker Slack that we've been his companion while he's been working on his new product, which is like a way to train people with AI avatars. So that was kind of nice
Mm.
to hear.
Do you
We
mean
can,
we as in the podcast?
as in the podcast, yes.
Ooh, someone's listening.
Yay!
That's so
Someone's
nice.
listening.
So shout out. I did see I think I did see him sharing some screenshots in Mega Maker, and I thought it was looked really interesting, even though I didn't fully get into it. But
Yeah, I think it is because I think they've used it internally in Geeky Medic. So his thing is a training um doctors to be like they can sign up for geeky medics, and I
mhm,
think maybe nurses as well, but and just like they have a lot of training materials that you can
right.
subscribe to, and they have a lot of free stuff too. But and in there, I think he said that they have had it for a while, that you can like run through scenarios with avatar personas, because in like
Mhm.
doctor and medical training they do a lot of role play with like um actors that come in and like pretend or like act out different scenarios as patients, and
Mm.
then as like a way to prepare for that, you can do this with an AI personality or an avatar. And I think he's taken that technology and made it like something that other people can use for their training purposes, like not
Mm,
specifically
mhm.
medical. So you can like he's extracted, it's like, what do we call that, like when you take a part of your product and you make it a product, like, or a part of your stack and you make that a product. It's like a spin-off, I guess. Spin-off
Yeah,
maybe.
I guess,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's his kind of new venture on the side, because Geeky Medic is doing like really well. So
That
it's been
sounds
fun
very
following it.
interesting, though. I really like the idea in a medical setting, but like I mean, this is also like this could be for sales training or whatever as well, right? Like if you feed it with the right data or whatever, like this could be really useful. Yeah, I like it.
And as a parent, I just thought now, because we spoke a little bit before recording, that um I've been reading The Nonviolent Communication, which is a book I've never, like, I kind of haven't reached for because I thought the title was really weird, but it's all about
Hmm.
the I can't even say the word, empathic listening. A lot of the same stuff that Michelle talks about in Deploy Empathy, but like on a non-business side of things. And I find it really hard to like say those, it's like say or like reply in with those words. It just
Hmm.
feels foreign. So now when we were talking, like, that could also be a good thing where you train with the AI, where you can like mess up before you do this on your kid, which is like a lot of what us parents are trying to do to like, not force solutions and not, come in with our opinions, but like really
Right.
get the child to understand their own needs and all that. I sounds like I'm ridiculing it. I'm not. I just find it hard, but I'm on the path. But a little bit of AI training wouldn't hurt. Where the AI is like, that's the solution. That's an opinion.
I feel like that, especially the solution stuff is hard for us as engineers, because I sometimes have to fight jumping to the solution, like to solving mode, before actually, like in so many contexts, like could be business context, but even personal. Like I'm so fast at jumping at like, you could do this, you could try this, you like, why did you try this? Why don't you do that? Like, and sometimes that's not appropriate, or even I don't know what you could possibly do, just accept it. This is sometimes not helpful. So yeah.
Yeah. So kudos to Lewis for like continuously innovating, I guess, even if he has a solid business.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting. I like it.
Why are you stressed? Is it Christmas? No, just kidding.
It's Christmas is actually pretty fine, I guess. The plan is to visit my sister and her family, and I think my parents are coming. So it's pretty much out of our hands, and except for two, we have all the gifts ready, or at least the ideas. So it's not super stressful. But today has just been one of those days, like where, like, I mean, it's almost 4 p.m. by now, and I literally have not gone any proper work. Like, I had some plans of what I wanted to do, like write some code, fix some bugs, but I didn't get to it because there's always other stuff, either on my calendar as scheduled stuff, and then in between there's other stuff that just pops up and I need to take care of. For example, driving my wife to work because the trains didn't run this morning for whatever reason. And it's annoying, and ends up with me being stressed because I'm jumping between stuff all the time. But yeah, that is just today. Overall, I think things are pretty good and pretty calm. I turned 40 since the last time we talked, so woohoo! Was a little bit weird. Like, my wife decorated the living room, and in the morning I got down there and was like, what are these numbers everywhere? Like, who is turning 40? That cannot possibly be me. So I'm still in the get used to it phase, I guess. But then again, it's just a number. So I'll accept
That's
it
what I said
eventually.
too. And then I thought, I don't know, when I was closing on 41, I heard that was like harder for me.
It
Then
was
you're like,
interesting.
I don't know
Now
why.
you're
Like at 40,
now you're properly into the 40s, right?
yeah, or it just like took a while to hit, or maybe just life was different. Like, it's a combination of, age and life situations or whatever that gets these like feelings of like,
I
oh my
guess.
God, but when I was closing on 41, I found that much harder for some reason. Then I got I got a little, not scared. I don't know what. I can't remember anymore. I'm turning 43 in January. So now I'm on my way. I'm very like calm with it now. Now I'm more just like rocking the gray hair, like, what's my next
I'm
decade
doing
gonna
that already.
be? Like, starting to think about like, okay, what do I want my focus to be in my 50s, and yeah, I'm like looking forward. But
Right.
beginning of the 40s was much more of sense of loss.
I feel like for me, I think the thing is that it feels like when you're 40, whatever, like in the 40s, you're supposed to have things figured out.
Yeah, nobody
And it doesn't,
has.
but yeah, that's probably true, right? Like, it doesn't feel like I have everything figured out. And yeah, that's a disconnect where, like, by now I should like have it figured out, but I guess it's never going to stop. So I guess that's the thing I have to just get used to. But other than that, yeah, I took the week off. My birthday was Monday, so I took the week off and had a big celebration on the weekend. Had some family over for coffee and stuff like that, and then invited all of them plus some friends for dinner into a nice restaurant where we got stuffed with good food.
Oh,
And
good.
the next morning had family over again for breakfast, and then went to a Christmas market nearby, and it fizzled out from there. But overall, it was a super nice weekend because I usually don't celebrate my birthdays, so it was a nice. It was probably a small party for everyone else, but it was a big party for me, like, compared to the usual. And I enjoyed it quite a bit. It was really nice. And during the week, to be honest, mostly took the week off to be able to prepare for the weekend, like get
But see,
everything cleaned up, do some shopping, bake some cakes, like do all the stuff. But on top of that, we also went to 2 concerts that week. One in a large arena and one in a super small club. So it was like
I mean, you need a week just to like
opposites.
be able to
And
handle those kinds of things now that you're 40.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, had a good time.
Yeah.
On the work side of things, I did do some stuff. Oh yes, you mentioned Let It Snow JS or whatever it is called. We didn't integrate that into our product, but I built a Snowflake integration.
Oh, that's the best segue.
Which wasn't planned. Like, we didn't have this planned, but we had a lead in sales who was considering userless, and we got pretty far in the sales process. And at some point, they had 2 major objections. One was they needed a little bit more flexibility on our data model side, and they wanted a Snowflake integration. And changing the data model.
Is Snowflake a database or is it like big data
Yeah,
or like
it's like somewhere in between. It's a big data warehouse type thingy.
okay.
But whatever, in the end, it's a database. So those were the 2 things they had objections about. And because changing the data model is not something I'm comfortable doing in like a week, I decided to, hey, we can at least address the Snowflake integration objection. So we did that, let them know. Unfortunately, they still decided to go with someone else. Even though I noticed earlier today, Jane is already sending follow-ups to them. It's like, hey, how is it going with the other provider?
You're being a good seller.
So maybe it's not all lost, but we built a Snowflake integration. And with that, we now have like this reverse ETL type of setup, because it's a new type of integration.
What is an ETL?
Extract, transform, load. So it's like one of those processes. We basically load data, then transform it in some way, and then, well, now I'm getting it the wrong way, right? Extract data is like getting it out of a system, transform it into a new format, and then load it into something else. That's usually how it goes. And the reverse ETL is basically take the warehouse, query the data, transform it, and put it into your own system. But now we have a architecture for integrations like that, which we didn't have before. So in theory, we could use the same ideas and the same concept to build like stuff like a BigQuery integration where we can pull data from there, or even directly connect to databases like MySQL, Postgres, whatever. Which was something I initially, when we started Userlist, I was always like, no, we're never going to do that. But well, here we are. So yeah, we have
Why
that
did
stuff
you never
in
want to
place.
do that? Like, what was
Because
the
that
reasoning
essentially
behind that?
means we have to store credentials, right? Like we have, and I feel like with Snowflake, it's I don't feel like that stressed about it because it's the data lake and it's just like mostly analytics data, I guess. But the part where I'm stressing about is like with regular databases where all the hash passwords are and stuff like that. I don't I don't want to get near them. Like, I'm not necessarily that I'm worried that I'll do something stupid, but could be someone else does someone stupid, and then they blame us for deleting all their
Mhm.
users or something like that, which we didn't do. But
Mhm.
then, well, we in theory we could, I guess, right? So yeah. Anyways, now we have that in place. What was nice in the process, though, was that we were able to reuse a lot of the components we had built initially. Like, for one, we have like a framework on how integrations work, but we also have this framework for batch operations that we currently use for mostly CSV import and export. But the way we built this was it's very much a pipeline of data sinks and data sources. So we were able to just build a new import operation that just connects to Snowflake, runs a query, gets the result, transforms it using the same transforms that we're using for the CSV import, and then eventually just dumps it in our database and into the customer's user list account. So it was pretty exciting. Like, all of that stuff just worked. So the building blocks were correctly shaped for the most part. Needed some
It's because
tiny
you're
tweaks,
such
but
a good developer, Benedict.
well, I don't know.
Or
I
at least
I
senior.
probably because I over engineer stuff from the get go, and then eventually the requirements catch up with the over engineered code, right?
I mean, if you don't want to take the compliment, that's the way to look at it.
Oh, I've recently read a book and it said something about like you should be better about taking compliments and not deflecting them. So thank you for the compliments.
You're welcome. Something you need to learn in your 40s.
Yeah, something that I should probably learn by now. So yeah, Snowflake integration, no Snowflake JS, but yeah, we built that, and hopefully we can get a customer to actually use it eventually. It's also one of those integrations we didn't enable it for everyone because we're considering. So right now we have on our website, we have the basic plan, we have the professional plan, and for now we have basically been deciding features to either go into the basic or into the professional. But the Snowflake, we're considering of like,
Enterprise.
exactly, like we also have a Call Us enterprise plan on the website, which isn't actually a plan that we have. Like, it's not something in Stripe that is set up, but it's like, get on a call with us, we figure something out, and then we customize something for you. But with that integration, we're now like, definitely doesn't go into the basic plan. Maybe it goes in the professional plan, but for sure it goes in the enterprise plan. So it might be the first feature we built specifically for that enterprise plan that is just a call us button at the moment. So that's somewhat exciting. Let's hope we get to a point where we can actually use this to close a lead. Hopefully that happens sometime soon.
Don't you think all Call Us enterprise plans are just that? It's on there
Yes.
to like get the big companies to call so you can do a user interview.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, it's definitely that. And I'm not sure it will ever be a plan in Stripe for us because at that scale, it's usually super custom billing and you just invoice them and stuff like that. So the way we've been doing this so far, like we got some customers through that route, but in the end, we basically customize a professional plan for them. But yeah, it's just minor detail, I guess. Yeah, I did some other stuff, but we can continue to talk about you for a while.
So I've been into the Framer world. I noticed with like life and everything, I needed to like focus on one project or one client. So I've been Framer. So I published the new version of the plugin last week. And then today, the first error rolled in through Rollbar. So I have to have a look at what could have triggered that. And then I've made, feels like a million demos or remixes or specific code components for Framer, but I think it's about 10. And I think maybe I've even like beat you on the video front because I made videos for some of them in addition to those like little videos. So I think maybe I'm at like 4 or 5 videos, and if you're on 4, then
Yeah.
I'm gonna beat you to it because I've recorded a video. I made like a medium style gating demo where you see part of the content and then there's a sign up overlay. So I made that and I made a video for that, which wasn't really good, but I was using Descript. I just like rambled on. I used a Descript cleanup and make sense of this, and it did really well. And it kind of like got me started thinking like how I should do these types of videos, but I could still put it on the demo because Framer has a video player that you can embed without any custom anything, and you can upload the video onto their CMS. So I could just upload it there. And I noticed that felt like so much easier than being like, oh, is this ready for YouTube? Where it gets a URL that never can be changed, and you can never you can unarchive it, but then not unarchive, you can archive it, but then it will, the link will stop working. But embedding it on the demo itself, so the demo kind of becomes a tutorial, I just put it there, and then now I'm having better ideas. I can record a new one and just put it there. And then when I'm, I think like this is actually a good video, I could put it on YouTube. But there is something there for the people who are kind of like early testers of this demo. So that was quite freeing, not having to like make it YouTube worthy, or I guess like ready with any like intro or overlay, or it was just like a screen recording. Boom, that's it. Kind of
I like the idea of just embedding this in the actual demo, like so just watch this and then you're already in it.
Yes, exactly.
Cool.
Yeah, and then you can clone the whole thing or remix the whole thing, and you even get the video in your remix if
Right.
So yeah.
How does I have not done a lot of YouTube stuff in the past. Is it not possible to re-upload a video and just replace the current one?
So on YouTube you cannot replace. That's like the use case of the Vimeo type services.
Right. Yeah.
Is that you own the URL and you can upload when there are product changes or there are things that are happening. But on YouTube, it doesn't allow you to do that. So that's why it feels a little bit like when you're making, if I'm going to make that kind of definite Framer plus Atzera video, I would like that to be on a version of the plugin that is at a level that, okay, even if I change things, at least like the basics concepts are going to be in place. So, because that's the one that's going to get more reach, even if you make a new one.
Right.
If this video is performing well, people are going to see the old video over the new video when they search. So it feels like a little weird to be, but then there are companies who are like pumping out videos and then they kind of deprecate pretty fast. But then you kind of like have to keep doing that, I feel. But if you only have like some videos, it feels really weird if like one of them is just valid for like a week or a month or something like that.
Yeah.
So at least it felt a little free, at least not having to think about that, just uploading it to the Framer site and not having to think about that kind of distribution was nice. So I'm going to do more of that, and using Descript more for screen cast. Like it did really well. It like removes retakes, it removes rambling. It just like the first edit was, I mean, from what I gave it, it's a perfect edit.
Nice.
So I'm going to keep doing that.
I fell a little bit off the rails with the videos. I'm still at 4. I've been meaning to record
last
a 5th
time.
one. Exactly. I've been meaning to record a 5th one for the past 4 weeks, I guess. So it's about time. Maybe I get something done this week. Because it's just more or less 3 weeks to the end of year, and I still need to do 6 videos. OMG, I don't know. I'm probably not going to make it to 10, but I'm not giving up just yet.
How many has Jane made?
I think Jane hasn't made any videos so far, so I'm leading on that front at least. But still, like the goal was 10 in the quarter, which doesn't sound like too much, and I'm already falling behind. So, well, way behind by now. I need to record a video this week. That's the gist of it.
10 in a quarter is quite a lot. I mean, it's almost every week.
It's almost every week. That's true. Yeah.
Mhm. I think it's
But
easier
then
for
the bar is
smaller
pretty
videos to do
the
like
bar
5
is
of
pretty
them in a
low.
day than doing one a
Ye-
week.
Maybe I just like cheat like that and just record super short videos.
Mhm.
But then again, we talked about the short videos being harder than the long videos.
Yes.
So yeah, let's see. It's definitely on my list for this week to record at least one more video. So I at least get like 50% of the videos. But maybe I can do more.
Yeah. Yeah, so my focus for these last 3 weeks, or maybe I should just not do anything for the next 3 weeks. But the focus going forward, at least with the frame route setup work, is then documenting everything that I have made. And I've been doing demos and like being in the community and answering and creating code components that have nothing to do with Outseta as well, just to like really learn how how Framer works and what are the pain points and how should we be making things. So I kind of learned a lot. I need to tighten up what we have, because like through that exploration I see some decisions I've done in our overrides that I might want to rethink a little bit. But now as I go and clean up, I need to also document so that people know these things exist, right? There is no build and they will come. Like, you build and you have to tell them over and over and over and over again. But we are getting a lot of search traffic for Framer into Outseta. So, as soon as I start getting these things documented, we will have one of these like pillar pages that are on Framer, like Outseta and Framer. We have one for Webflow and we'll have one for Framer where we can link out to, specific tutorials and our plugin and all of the resources that I'm creating. And it's like I feel like it's coming together, and I've landed on a style where I don't really care about the design. I mean, Framer people are really, really concerned about the design, but instead of trying to like compete on that, I'm just like doing the functionality with like a super simplistic like wireframe style design. So they will have to come with the design themselves. And then down the
Which they
road,
probably already will, right? Like I feel like
yes.
when targeting that crowd, it's not necessarily a good idea to be very design heavy.
It's both, because a lot of people coming into Framer and also Webflow, like in the experience for Webflow, is they actually come into it cloning a template.
Okay.
So in that regards, like they're coming with the design. So that would be similar to somebody designing themselves, and they will have to add our features into it. But we see where we can get the best activation is if they can clone our course template, because they like the design, and then the Outseta functionality comes along with it, or our whatever template. So I think there is a play there, but then we will have to pay or like find some freelancers to make these like really highly nicely, like this style of design that is popular in the Framer world is not my style. I can't make it even if I give it the time and attention. But then like I feel like our functional pieces need to work really well, so it's like easy for them to do it. So it's not going to be like an integration project for them. It's just going to be a design project. So that's going to probably, be something that it could be a marketing play in the Q2 or something, or Q3 maybe, to have some of the great, like some of the well-known Framer template creators make templates either for our account, but maybe even on their accounts. We say, could you build a course platform template? Like you could even sell it, and you can keep your Framer commission and your Outseta commission and everything, but then we get customers from people buying and cloning that template. But that's for the future, when we have like nailed the little itty bitty gritty things a little bit more.
Right. Yeah.
But until then, we can give the early adopters a chance to adopt by documenting what we have. But then also, fun fact, because I'm still responsible for keeping the Wii infrastructure ticking along. But I had a little break and like doing anything substantial. And we got bombarded with emails from Vercel on Saturday, because there is a major vulnerability in certain versions of Next because of React Server Components, some version of React Server Components. So I was like, okay, there goes my Saturday. I went in, and it turned out like I was talking to AI. and they were like, or to Jean Claude, and it's like, yes, you need to upgrade, but you're on version 14, so then you need to upgrade to like a stable version 15, which is a major undertaking going from four, or it
Mm-hmm.
could be. I wouldn't know. But then I was like, it doesn't say anything about 14 in like this release, like this email we got from Vercel. And I went in and like I looked through documentation, and in the end I found Next's kind of reporting on this vulnerability, and it's like, if you're on 14, you're not affected. So I was like,
Yeah. Ooh.
yay to not being an early adapter. Like, I'm 43, soon 43. We don't just YOLO update major versions anymore.
Yeah. Wasn't it on like just in end of November where there was also that vulnerability or whatever, that worm that spread through npm again? I don't remember the name of the worm, but like there was like
Mm-hmm.
node packages getting hijacked and stuff like that, and I think Zapier's node packages were included in that.
Yes.
And that, what I think, was it on my birthday? At least it was that week where I was on
Mm-hmm.
vacation, and I was like, saved by vacation, nice. Didn't accidentally install
Update
those
anything.
vulnerable. I didn't actually run any of those packages or install any of those packages because it was away from the computer. So that was reassuring.
But I saw like a really good, I wouldn't call it a hack, because a French method, if you use PNPM, you could say something where you could have a rule in your package JSONs that says you're not gonna update or use any packages that are less than like
Yep.
a month old or a week old, or like whatever you choose, to prevent you from like getting these types of attacks, but still being able to keep up with the changes. Because for some of my
Yeah.
project, I've just locked all of the versions down. Like, I'm still running a Gatsby blog. I'm not going to be updating any of the dependencies. It's working. We're not
Yeah.
doing
Until
anything
it's
to
not
that.
working, right?
Well, it's a
um,
static site, right? So okay, I might not be able to
sure.
publish
Yeah.
anything for a while, but at
Yeah.
least it's not, it's
Yeah,
built.
yeah,
It's
sure. The
gonna be
static
there.
site,
Yeah.
that's going to work for a while at least. Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I've seen that option as well. I think we enabled it on some of the projects, but I don't think it's on all of them. And I think that's the
Hmm.
danger with all of this, like just keeping or losing track of where you actually enforce the good practices and where you, for whatever reason, don't.
But I think we
So
need
yeah.
to be a lot more vigilant. Like I feel like the internet is crumbling as we speak. I mean, we've had 2 outages at Outsera since we last spoke, I guess, because Cloudflare has been out.
Yeah.
Um, and then AWS East, of course, was out,
Yeah.
which it is every year. And yeah, you just have to be more vigilant, I guess, with like, I mean, it's good practice to have
Yeah.
things in place and routines in place, but it just feels like the speed at which things are breaking now is just a little bit faster than we're used to.
Yeah, for sure. Luckily, yeah. Well, I want to say we were not affected by the Cloudflare outage because we're not using Cloudflare. But turns out we were affected by the Cloudflare outage because our auto scaling provider is apparently using Cloudflare, and we were not reporting background queue. Well, we were reporting background queue times to their services, but because Cloudflare was down, they didn't receive those, and they didn't auto scale our background queues. So at some point, I was like, why is nothing working properly? Why is taking everything forever? And then looked into it and was like, yeah, okay, well, there's no resources allocated to doing this. So yeah, whenever Cloudflare's down, I'm now babysitting our background queues. uh,
Yeah, I
where are
don't
we going? I don't
I'm
like
not
this.
jealous. I'm not jealous of the people in charge of the network layer over at Cloudflare. They've had a rough couple of weeks. But hopefully it's going to be more robust. But yeah, this is also why I'm rereading Anti-Fragile, the book, because I feel like things are getting more volatile in many aspects. We don't have to get into the state of the world, but just like personal life and the world and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
And
like
everything,
and
yeah.
the internet, like with the Cloudflare errors, like in the book Anti-Fragile, I like talk a lot about how we've seen this in Norway, like we've scaled our oil platforms for these waves that only hit every 100 years or something. Like I think we have taken those into accounts or not, or whatever, but like, oh, they only happen every 100 years, and then suddenly they're happening like a lot more often. And you're like, we didn't account for that. We could take one hit but not like 5 in 50 years or whatever. And it's been a long time since I read the book, and I've only kind of started rereading it, but his intro talks a lot about that, like where we prepare for the worst we've ever known, but that at some point was the worst nobody knew was coming.
Yeah.
Because then it wouldn't have been the worst. And then being able to think about your life or your product or your whatever in terms of like, how can I be able to roll with these types of punches and maybe come strengthened out of it. That's, I guess, the goal of like Anti-Fragility, is that you can come out of it even stronger, but at least like having a certain like robustness that you can withstand these unforeseen worsts that we can't really prepare for, but we can prepare for them in a way by thinking in terms. Anyway, but so it hits a little bit different. I think it's 10. I don't know when it came out. I read it. I think I tried to read. I don't think I ever completed it when it came out. And I was a little like young and be like, this will never happen in my lifetime or whatever kind of thinking. But now it hits a little bit differently after a couple of years of experience, of life experience, where like, now we're going to get some time to focus on the business, and then just life throws you another curveball and you realize you have to be able to build this business
despite the curveballs, while the curveballs lie.
Or in the words of Taylor Swift, I can do it with a broken heart.
Yep.
Or if you don't want the Taylor Swift metaphor, we just watched Arthur's Christmas Race or something. I don't know what it's called in English. Where it's a Christmas movie, but he keeps saying to himself that he can do it anxious. It's like, I have to work on my anxious. I'm too anxious, but then it's like, I can do it anxious, and I can do it with a broken heart. So
that's that's the right mentality, I guess. I feel like this is a good. What?
Yeah, we want to end on that.
I think this is a good note to end on it. A good note to end on, I guess. Well, whatever. I will be seeing you on Saturday on a Christmas market, but everyone else I'll see, or not see, but you'll see and hear us in 2 weeks for the next episode. Or maybe not. It might be Christmas. I don't know. Well, we'll see.
Do we even know what it is? See you around the interwebs. That's where we'll see you. Bye-bye.
Bye.